Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Silverstone for watch-along commentary for the second practice session, half in Northamptonshire, half in Buckinghamshire. It's the second practice session. We are live on YouTube and a glorious airfield and a glorious day. 3 sectors, 3.66 miles in total length. As I said, it's one of the flattest races of the year as well. One speed trap, 2 DRS zones, elevation change just 11.3 meters, 18 turns, a 127 is the lap record here, and action zones. Well, Hamilton and Bottas last year went side by side through Luffield. Hamilton trying to wrestle the lead away from his Mercedes teammate, only for it to go back to Bottas. On the opening lap, it was Ricciardo and Norris side by side, the McLaren versus the Renault. A year earlier, it was contact between the same two teams. And down the Vale last year, Vettel had a brake failure and hit the back of Max Verstappen, compromising both of them in the race. 3 tyre compounds ahead of us this weekend. It's the soft, the medium and the hard, but it is the hardest of the compounds. The white-walled hard tyre is the C1, the medium is the C2, that's the yellow band. The red band of the soft is the C3 tyre compound as well. We look ahead and it is absolutely beautiful. Blue skies, track temperature at a high 49 degrees, air temperature 34 degrees. It's roasting at the track and it's roasting in our UK studio. Good afternoon, everybody. Hopefully the camera's a lot better than what it was this morning as well. And welcome along to something that we're all looking forward to. It is second practice, a time for all the drivers to get ready and hopefully to see what is going to happen. Alongside me, in the commentary box this time around, as I'm sure you can see on the watch-along commentary cam, a bit Radio Le Mans style, it's Megan Birch. Good afternoon to you, Megan. A lot of action in free practice 1, mainly the red flag, but It was Sebastian Vettel having an intercooler issue that prevented him from running, and he's getting ready to head out to the track now. It was actually pretty much an okay session. It was just the norm. It was just the usual. What did you make of it this morning?
I found it okay.
Still things to identify. Bit boring, wasn't it? Sorry.
Yeah, apart from the red flag. So.
What did you make then of this practice 1, and now you're in for practice 2 for the first time in a number of years? Yeah. But it's the British Grand Prix. What did you make of it with no fans? It was a bit weird, wasn't it?
A bit, but it doesn't really make much of a difference.
Yeah, you get used to it quite quickly, not having any fans. It is roasting in our commentary box. Do get in touch.
Is it?
Well, it is for me. I don't know about you.
I spend most of my time inside anyway.
Hopefully the camera's a lot better from what it was this morning as well. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 monitors and 1 down at the moment, showing us all the information. A lot brighter light compared to this morning. And track temperature rising up, Megan. Ted Kravitz, we can see, he's got a parrot on his shoulder and the pirate sunglasses as well to head out onto the track. But the session's going to go green soon, within the next 45 seconds. And compared to this morning, we thought we were going to have clouds over this afternoon. And we thought we were going to have a session where, okay, we're going to see some issues with the tyre wear. We're going to see some issues with the degrees playing, with the hot temperature playing a factor. And then we thought this afternoon, all right, we're going to have a cool, calm session, more what we're expecting on Sunday. But no, because the weather stayed. We've still got these hot track temperature and the hot sunshine. We're in a situation here where the team's got to do the race run, but they're not going to do them straight away.
Yeah, and I feel like it will get hotter in the soon because of that damn light.
The light that we've got on top of us to stop what happened earlier
on. For you, it's closer to you.
It's closer to me, yeah. Hopefully we're all good, and it's a lot better than what it was this morning in the session as well. But look at that, Megan. Track temperature now rocketing. It's air temperature at 34 degrees as the green light goes on and the second practice session begins here at RAF Silverstone. Track temperature 35 degrees, humidity at 28%. Now, I feel sorry for the drivers having to buckle themselves in a fire suit and head out onto the track in these conditions. But it's all worth it, isn't it? Is the risk more than the reward of dehydration? I mean, we're reaching Malaysia levels.
It's worth the risk.
This morning, then, it will just go through the times as we wait for drivers to come out on the track. Use the hashtag British Grand Prix to get in touch. The hashtag JB Motorsports as well, or get in touch on the YouTube chat as well. We have it open on a separate monitor. So do get in touch. Any questions you like, pop it on in the group chat as well. So Verstappen set the time this morning on a 1:27.422. He did 27 laps. Hamilton was second, Stroll third, Albon fourth. Then it was Leclerc, Bottas, Ocon, Ricciardo, Hulkenberg in ninth place, and rounding out the top 10 was Kvyat. We'll come back to Hulkenberg in just a minute. Then we get Gasly, Sainz, Norris, Magnussen, Grosjean, Raikkonen, Russell, Giovinazzi, Latifi, and Vettel with a water cooler issue keep him out of the session. But I want to touch on quickly Nico Hulkenberg. He had a great acclimatization out of the car for 8 months since December the 1st last year into a new machinery. He put it P9 overall, just a couple of tenths off of Stroll in the same second as well. That's impressive. Would that make...
It's like riding a bike, you never forget.
Precisely. Would Stroll be worried?
He should be.
I agree. Should Perez be worried, actually? Could Hulkenberg get his seat for the remainder of the year? That's the question.
It all depends on his health.
Yes, we understand that, if the camera's here, we understand that Sergio Perez has got the COVID-19 virus. He's showing no symptoms at the moment, which is great news, but he went back to Mexico to visit his mother, who had been in hospital ill. Not with COVID-19, but we hope that both his mother and Sergio are well soon. Megan.
What happens if she got it?
That's the problem as well. We don't know. We're in a waiting game now, aren't we? It takes 2 weeks to show up as well. I hope so as well, and we get a nice clean run. But the hot conditions, Megan, we're 3 minutes into the session. Nobody wants to head out onto the track. That's something that's surprising me. The conditions on the track, nobody wants to head out onto it and to have a go and see what it's like. We have got a few issues. Race control. Blue head padding material must be used. Well, that's the head coolant system as well. That has to be in.
It's like, it's a hot day, you're gonna wear it.
Yeah, I don't know why drivers wouldn't use it, to be fair. But no one's heading out on the track at the moment, which is surprising me. So do get in touch. Hashtag JB Motorsports. Use the @JoshuaBirch99 as well. And get in touch as well on the YouTube chat. And we'll have a discussion and see what you want to do and see what you want to know. And we'll get it done. But there's the man who's not in this session, Sergio Perez. Not in the weekend. He's still at the track, though, because he's having to isolate in his motorhome for 14 days. So he misses the 2 races. But there's a man who's jumped in. Nico Hulkenberg complained that his right buttock was a little bit too tight in the car, and it was on a pressure point, so he couldn't sit down for too long in free practice 1. They've adjusted that now. We understand, actually, that he's going to the Racing Point factory, which is only 60 seconds away from Silverstone this afternoon, this evening, in order to have a seat fit ready for tomorrow, which is sensible, because he literally only got into the garage 30 minutes before practice and was in the garage, sat in the car for the first time, 5 minutes before the start of practice 1.
That's not good.
It's not, is it? We've got Daniel Ricciardo heading out on the track now. He's the first car to brave the conditions. And it's usually when I say that, it's braving the conditions of absolute rain. But it's not this time, is it? It's braving the conditions of absolute heat.
I wish it was rain.
Because what are you going to learn in these conditions at the moment? Because it could be different for the race. But they've got to head out there, dry running at Silverstone. You need it. And it is the first of a double-header event. So you've just got to keep going, got to keep on all the time. Yeah, Ricciardo out on the track. Sorry, it's not the camera there. But it's a lot better than this morning, isn't it? So we've fixed the issue. But we are roasting slightly. I don't know, have you started to bake yet? No, you put the heads on? I've noticed that if you take your shoes off and just got your socks on the floor, because it's a concrete floor in our commentary box, it's nice and cold.
But I'm wearing grey socks.
Yeah, but if you just pop it down, it feels nice and cold. There you go. Look. And then you get a cooler temperature.
I like the cold.
It is nice. Ricciardo on the track, and he's just around Copse Corner. Now, Megan, let's touch on Antonio Giovinazzi. He had a spin this morning at Chapel on the back half of the track.
Feels weird to be in my socks.
It does, doesn't it? But just a Chapel here, the top of Chapel up here. He had a spin this morning, went off the track, locked the rears, and he's actually been warned by the stewards not to do that again, because when he continued, he deposited everything onto the track and caused a 12-minute red flag. So the stewards say he should have stayed where he was and to stop the session, not have gone on and broke the car further. It was a suspension issue as well. Yeah. So if you're watching this morning, Dad was right in the commentary box. Ian Birch was right. It was a suspension failure on the back of Giovinazzi's car.
I managed to get a bit of stats memorized.
Oh, go on then.
Only one piece though, but most of it's in my knowledge.
Yeah,
fastest lap was a 1:29.243 from Lewis in 2016 during qualifying 2.
So the fastest time this morning for comparison was a 1:27.422. So we're nowhere near that yet.
Yeah, and the lap record
So that,
is
yeah.
is from Fernando Alonso in 2010.
I remember that, yeah, and that was, I don't know why that record should count because technically the start-finish point was at a different position
I know, didn't it
in
change?
2011.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in a different position, so I don't know why it counts the same. But Ricardo's on the lap. He's just coming into Brooklands now and round Luffield. We've got Magnussen, Giovinazzi, Grosjean, Ricardo, and Kvyat out on the track at the moment, so they are all venturing out. Just talking about Danny Ricciardo, if I find him in my notes, he's here. One podium finish here at Silverstone, and he's finished in the points in all four of the last seasons so far. Debut at this track, of course, in 2011. I remember that. It was with Hispania Racing Team, the HRT team. So it's sort of a mini birthday for Ricciardo. But I've got a question for you, Megan. You probably won't be able to answer it. But when was the last time the British Grand Prix was the fourth round of the season? The last time it was the fourth round of the season.
1970.
Oh, you're good, but it's a lot closer than 1970.
1980.
You're just going to go in the decades now. You'll hit the right number. You'll hit the right number if you go one more. 2000.
2000.
2000 was the last time the British Grand Prix was the fourth round of the season. That was when it was held on Easter Sunday, sorry. And of course it rained and it was miserable and it was cold and it was wet.
It was nice.
Then Formula One and Bernie Ecclestone vowed for it never, ever, ever to be held in April again. But it's held in August for the first time as well. So the British Grand Prix has been held in the British the British Grand Prix has been held in April, May, June, July, and August. So it's 5 months. I think it must be one of the only races on the calendar that's been held in more months than any other. So we'll double check that for ahead of FP3. Kimi Raikkonen, 318 Grand Prix starts, of course, the oldest driver on the grid. Australia 2001 was his first race, and that was a race of catastrophe as well, with the horrific crash for Jacques Villeneuve and Ralf Schumacher, which resulted in the death of a marshal, tragically. And a lot of safety improvements were made after that race and going forward, because it led to a previous year, Paolo Ghisonberti, a marshal that was killed at Monza in a start crash as well. So there was a lot of there was a lot
of death.
There was in 2001 with marshals, and a lot of things were put on safety for the cars and the marshals trackside as well. And it's good that we talk about that here, of course, because British Marshals, the best in the world. We saw them out in action in free practice 1 in the red flag as well. So he was going well. This is the track limits and the alteration. Now, in previous years, it's been a runoff of tarmac at the exit club corner at turn 18, but now it is a gravel runoff this year as well. So if you go wide here, you're in the gravel trap. And we already saw Kimi Raikkonen give it a test this morning when he had a little spin down at Luffield. And Sebastian Vettel heads out onto the track then for the first time. He did 2 laps this morning in practice 1, but didn't set a time due to an intercooler issue with the water. So he had to strip the whole of the car down, and has been put back up now, and hopefully it should be better. But Sebastian Vettel, Megan, rumoured that he's going to Aston Martin next year. Of course, that's the Racing Point team. Is that more heavily criticised this weekend that it could be happening?
Possibly, I would think.
Would you put him in a Aston Martin, German, British team, of course, Mercedes car engine, of course, and a copy? Would you put it there? Would you put him there?
I would like to see it.
I agree. Lando Norris, just about to head out onto the track then. For those of you in the know, or who don't know, this is a watch-along commentary, so we are going to try not to look at the screen as much as possible. There's
It's difficult.
Yeah, there is we've got one monitor showing different pictures that we're looking at now.
It looks weird because it looks like we're looking over there.
Yes, but because we can see ourselves, but there's a little green light showing us where to look directly as well when we want to talk to you. But this is a watch-along commentary, so we're going to try our best to look at the pictures and talk to you as little as possible.
Why do you think last time it was a watch-along, I was just looking at the screen for so long? Why is there loads of green stuff coming out?
Another question you asked in FP1, and a question I can answer. It looks like they've got some aero paint on the back of that Ferrari on the rear axles. So Vettel doing some development in this session. Of course, he missed a lot of free practice 1, and they've got some new parts. So Vettel going to have to hurry that up again. For those of you familiar with the Radio Le Mans style of commentary, Cam, from when they do the 24 Hours of Le Mans, this is basically what it is. It's pretty much a similar situation to what it is. So hopefully you'll enjoy seeing how me and Megan work in the commentary box together. Obviously,
I promise not to hit him.
Obviously, in the race, I don't sit down. In fact, I'm usually stood up around here.
I do.
Walking around like a banshee. I'm running around and screaming and going like, oh, look at this, and it's gonna be fun. But in practice, you can relax a little, sit down, and watch the action unfold. But we are live all weekend with watch along commentary. Hopefully, the camera's a lot better than when it was in free practice 1, which was an absolute nightmare. We've done a lot of work in between the 2 sessions to get it right, and hopefully, we have. Yeah. Fingers crossed, it's watchable. We will improve the quality, though, as we go on. Not this weekend, but as we go on to the future. Hopefully, this will become a permanent feature that we can provide watch-along for you as well. But just a tester this weekend, just to give it something and see what it's like going forward. I think it's about time we did watch-along, because we've commentated on Formula 1 for many years now together. We've done the race highlights, of course. We've done practice 1 commentary, but it's about time that you see everything that happens in the commentary box and everything that goes on as well. And just about time you hear our race commentary live, instead of having to wait 3 or 4 days after you've forgotten everything that's been in the race. So it should be fun. Yeah. Join us, all weekend long. Every time a car is on the track, we are on live coverage for a watch-along session. Lance Stroll just goes into 4th place, so on 29.720. He's 4th fastest. Giovinazzi is looking good. He's on the fastest first sector of anyone so far. But just want to point out another factor is that we've got Leclerc fastest at 128.773, followed by Gasly, Raikkonen, Stroll, Ricciardo, Giovinazzi, Kvyat, Grosjean, Vettel, Magnussen, the top 10, and the only 10 teams to set a time. I'm not running out of things to say, but I've just reminded myself that I think you wanted to say something in between the sessions. I can't remember. I can't remember if you had a stat for me that we talked about.
I was meant to. But,
that was the stat. Yeah, okay. I just popped into my head. Do you have a stat for me? Giovinazzi's just gone 2nd fastest, a 1:28.872. Give us Kimi Raikkonen now. He's on a slow lap. He's behind Gasly. Give us Mercedes. They're one of the closest teams. Obviously not as close as Racing Point. 13 minutes away from the circuit they are. Racing Point is 60 seconds away.
Why have they got something in my eye?
Don't know. It's a great commentary box, so things fall down eventually. But
better.
Good, because you need it to watch along. Gasly's had a big twitch. He's run wide, actually, coming at the exit of Stowe. We saw that a lot this morning, and it seems to be happening again.
It's not going to do good for his engines.
No, as well. Well, do you remember what I said about Gasly last week when we were in Hungary, actually, about the fact that Charles Leclerc, I think, has spun coming through the loop. We've got a yellow in the first sector, and it is Charles Leclerc who is facing backwards at the loop section just before Aintree.
Right in the middle.
And he's kicked up the dust now. He's flat spotted the tyres. That's at the exit of Aintree and the loop. So I wonder if he's just locked the rears, got on the power a bit too much and spun the car around. We'll wait for a replay to confirm that. But we've got a driver track in the box that showed us it was Charles Leclerc. Here it is. So comes into turn 3 at Village. The loop is turn 4. Tight left-hander. Gets the curve, gets the power on, and yet loses the rear immediately. So easy to do with these cars as well. If you haven't got enough temperature in the rears, you put the power down a bit too early, the car's a bit unbalanced, and round you go. It's exactly what happened there. Agree?
I've done that in a game once.
You have? Yeah, it's very easy to do, isn't it?
Then again, I just don't brake.
Yeah, you don't brake. You never brake.
I also ram it into your car.
Yeah, you do. And you never, ever brake. But yeah, Leclerc having a bit of an incident.
Need.
People want to know where you can watch it. Well, it's live in the UK on Channel 4 F1 on Channel 4 this weekend. It's live on Sky Sports F1 as well. And no matter where you are in the country as well, around the world, I'm sure you can find some coverage. If not, then stay tuned and you can watch us talk about it for you with radio coverage. And hopefully you'll enjoy it as much as we enjoy bringing it to you. I love doing this because it gives us a little bit of time to discuss things a bit more calmly and a bit more energetically, I suppose, as we're on board with Alexander Albon now, just coming through Copse Corner into the Maggots and Beckett's complex. He's set the fastest middle sector of all so far.
Which, as I said before, I think will be a good name for a butcher's.
Maggots and Beckett's. Yeah, he said it in first practice. Yeah,
I think it would.
Maggots might put people off though.
For Beckett's.
Beckett's is a good one. Don't we have a Beckett? Isn't Beckett's a butcher's?
I think that's why I think it.
I swear Beckett's is a butcher's. I can just sense that it already is.
I feel like it is.
I know. If anybody knows that, just pop it in the group chat. Is Beckett's a butcher's? Well, it's Great Britain. We talk about British meat and everything as well. And I'll tell you what, I'll just tell you a quick thing. As Alexander Albon's aborted his lap, he was fastest in the first two sectors, but I think he got compromised as well. And I actually think Gasly got compromised at the exit of into Vale, and he did. That was dirty from Seb, Gasly saying over the team radio, and it is because Vettel's held Gasly up in his fast run. His engineers agreed, saying, yeah, very much agreed. Megan.
The thing you said before.
About what? Yes, okay. Hang on 2 seconds. This is why it's dirty. Sebastian Vettel is, I don't know if he's on a fast lap, but he's got one of the Williamses in front of him. I think it was Nicholas Latifi. And he passes him and then puts his hand out of the cockpit. Okay, I know Sebastian is very much annoyed that he missed so much of the first practice session. But it is a practice session. It's not a qualifying. Drivers don't have to jump out of your way every 5 seconds. And I think that's something that he needs to think of.
I think he's forgetting.
Yeah.
Anyway.
If he's not careful, he will be a back marker soon. Yeah. Anyway, Ferrari a midfield team. Go on.
You said something about...
Yeah, I'll talk you through what happens on a British Grand Prix Sunday for me. And I don't know if you did this as well, but we have a British fry-up on the morning. And
I just have a bacon sandwich.
Oh, you have a bacon sandwich, but I have eggs, bacon, hash browns, beans, sausages sometimes as well. Nice, real gritty food as well to get into, and it fuels you for the day. And then when you come into the commentary box, you sat down, making your notes, and you look over everything and say, is this going to work? That going to work? And then you think about the thing you're going to say at the start of the race and how you're going to build up to it. You memorize the grid as much as possible. And then, of course, you wander into the back of the commentary box and put your head, start the commentary and all that lot.
Yeah, I just have a bacon sandwich.
Yeah, you just have a bacon sandwich for breakfast. I have everything. Whilst watching the Formula 2 and Formula 3 race.
I don't have time.
You don't have time. I have time to do all that, make my notes, make the graphics, film the Sunday preview show.
Yeah, but I get up later than you.
You do. That's to be fair. What time was I up this morning? 6 o'clock, 6:30, something like that?
I don't know. A couple of days ago, I got up at 12.
Yeah, Megan was not sociable that day, was she? 12 o'clock start for her. Verstappen has gone fastest, a 1:28.390. So he's now the top of the board from Leclerc, Giovinazzi, top 3. I'm just looking. Hülkenberg's on an out lap now. This is going to be his first lap of the day. He was 8th fastest this morning. He's been on the car since December, and his natural raw talent in a brand new car he's never raced got him 8th fastest, not the back. That is insanely good from Hülkenberg. I can't believe he hasn't got a permanent drive in a team this year. It seems almost unbelievable that hasn't happened.
He probably just doesn't want to.
Oh, he does want to drive. Do you remember? He didn't want to drive for Renault, but he did want to drive.
Wants a bit of time off.
I think he did say he wanted the year off eventually, but he did want to get something, and he does want to be back in Formula 1 as soon as possible. And
slowly waiting for someone to leave.
Yeah, brilliantly, Hülkenberg's going to be in the car this year. Where he's going to be in 2021, I'm not sure, because I don't think there's actually a seat available to him.
Well, you never know. Seb might just leave.
Yeah, well, Seb might leave, but is Hülkenberg going to fill Perez's spot at Racing Point? I'm not sure. Albon had a big twitch through Maggots and Beckett's there, and he had to correct the car massively. He's having a bigger twitch at the exit into Chapel, down the hanger straight. Go on, he's up though.
I'm going to look up whether Beckett's is in actual butchers.
Megan's quit it. Megan's finally gone and find out whether she is Maggots or Beckett's is a butchers. Albon having to fight that car an awful lot on this run as he was coming into the Vale chicane now. He's so far fastest of all in the second sector. New race engineer this year, Revy, is replaced Albon's race engineer, and it's a good relationship already. Albon's gone fastest overall, a 1:28.174 for him. So Alexander Albon, fastest in free practice 2 so far, with his teammate Max Verstappen in second place, and Ferrari third for Charles Leclerc. It's coming up to 3:20 in the afternoon here in the United Kingdom, and 20 past the hour wherever you are in the world as well. Apologies for that camera shake. Megan?
There's a butcher's called Beckett's.
There is a butcher's called Beckett's.
Yeah.
That's good. How many times have I told you about all those tabs open at once?
Don't do it.
Yeah, no wonder the Wi-Fi is a bit poor here. Albon on the radio is experiencing a bit of understeer, we understand, but I saw that and reported that on the actual lap as well. He was so much out of shape coming through the back half of that sector.
Where's all my things gone?
Where's all your what?
There.
Megan's pointing at a blank screen.
Exactly.
I don't know. Are you on live timing?
Yeah.
Refresh the page. That might help. Who's gone top now? Bottas gone top. 128.039. So Bottas goes fastest overall then in this session. Good time. Could improve a little bit. But Megan, what do you think of Bottas so far?
He needs to improve a lot.
How many points is he back in the championship? Is it 5 points? Yeah, it is 5 points.
Yeah, but if he wants to actually win the championship, then
he's 5 points behind Lewis Hamilton in the championship as I look at my notes. So he's got a lot to improve on this weekend as well. But I honestly do believe we could see something from Bottas just click this weekend. He could have the opportunity. Ted Kravitz is currently on side-by-side pictures on Sky F1, and he's got a parrot on his shoulder. Not a real parrot, a fake parrot, but he's still got that parrot alongside him. And it's, I know Ted has got the pirate monocle of the binocular telescope, but yeah, not really funny much. But okay, Ted. Ted is a lovely chap, by the way. I did talk to him last year at pre-season testing, and we have got a photograph together. So it's a nice little photo. We had a long chat about McLaren last year as well, actually, thinking about it. And I said McLaren are going to be quite competitive this year, and I think they might even get a podium. And Ted said, "Oh, really? I'm not too sure about that."
First race.
No, it took until Brazil for Carlos Sainz. First race this year they got a podium, yeah, but I was testing last year.
I know.
And it took all the way to Brazil for Carlos Sainz to get a podium. But when it happened, I was like, yes.
You were right.
I was right on something that Ted Kravitz wasn't, and I'll take that to my grave as well. Or when we eventually work together, that'd be something to bring up in commentary. I've got another commentary box story actually about Spain, but I think I've told it 1,000 times. I'll save that for Sunday.
You can tell it 1,001.
Well, Hamilton just had an oversteer moment coming out of the Vale chicane, so the track temperature is still playing up with the tyre temperatures here so far at Silverstone. We've got Norris, Hamilton and Albon all together in a little bubble on the track. Hamilton's backing up. Lando's backing up round him. And yeah, Hamilton's backed off completely and he's let Albon through as well on that front. And Norris is now backed off and Albon through.
Full of a leader.
Albon's on a fast lap. That's the reason why. Fastest first sector of anyone, a 27.622.
Then we second and third sector coming up.
Yeah, second and third sector wasn't that good. Hulkenberg on the monitor is just a black dot.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it hasn't been changed to pink yet. If I'm honest. So hopefully that will be adjusted.
It looks like a phantom's on the track.
He's a black dot on the timing monitor as well. That makes it really hard for me in the box because we've got little colours alongside their names in the live timing. And it helps us identify quickly what team they are. But if I look for Hulkenberg, I look for the second pink dot and I can't see it. So I've got to look for the black dot, but that's too similar to Magnussen's and Kvyat and Grosjean. So it's a bit harder to see going forward. Get your questions in. Anything you want to know, we'll answer. Here this weekend, the British Grand Prix. We are live throughout all weekend long as we watch Lando Norris now. Beautiful day. The clouds just starting to come in there, Megan, but no rain clouds, just a bit of cloud cover. But if you look towards Club Corner, there's clouds. If you look towards Abbey, there's bright sunshine. That is just annoying, isn't it?
Very.
Because the teams don't know what to do. Do you go faster? Do you go slower? Do you pull in? Do you wait?
Do you change tyres? You know?
Yeah. Do you put the harder compound on or the softer tyre compound? In these conditions, I would put the hardest of the compounds on. Because it's kind of like reverse conditions, isn't it? If the tyre temperature is super, super hot, you don't want to put on your softest compound tyre because they'll just burn out. You want to put your hardest set on of the compound tyres. So it's kind of opposites. Hot weather, put your hard tyres on. Cold weather, put your soft tyres on because they bite easier and don't take as long to heat up. So everyone out there at the moment is on the mediums and the hards. Nobody is on the soft C3 tyre compound, which is the softest this weekend. Hamilton goes third on the hards on a 1:28.251. Not a bad time. Improvements to do on Bottas, though, was he 2/10 off the pace. We've got quite a lot of drivers in the pit lane. In fact, we've only got a few drivers out on track. That's Bottas, Ocon, Norris, Hamilton, and Ricciardo. Hulkenberg's just coming to the pit lane. Sky Sports F1 just gone on to an ad break now, so we have to talk amongst ourselves for a few minutes. Nothing different, but we've got no pictures to talk to you about. So if you want to get a question in, now's your chance. We'll answer it on the YouTube chat, because it's when we're going to have a look across at the pictures as well. Hashtag JB Motorsports as well. I get them on my Apple Watch as well to answer any of your questions going forward as well. And I'm just... we're okay. We're okay. I just thought we had a camera issue quality, but we're okay so far. So, Megan.
Yeah.
One question for you this weekend after seeing these two sessions so far.
Better be easy.
Well, Bottas has just done a 1:27.731 to go fastest overall once again. Who do you think is going to be on the podium this weekend? I'm not going to ask you who's going to win, but who's going to take the podium in third place? Who's best of the rest to get a podium? Because obviously it's going to be the Team Mercedes unless something happens on the podium. So who's going to be your unlikely pick to get a podium? And I've thrown you a curveball. I mean, you've got to think of someone.
I mean, I would really... What?
Yeah.
Why in that place is it just a dot?
That's Hulkenberg. Look on this monitor. Oh. Look on this monitor if you want. Oh, go on. Who would you put on? Sorry? Who would you put onto the podium?
I would put... I mean, obviously, I would want Norris to get a podium.
Obviously.
But I feel like, judging off this practice, I would have to say maybe Albon.
Albon for a podium.
And it's...
I agree with that, Hamilton. Actually. Albon's looking quite quick. I would have said Verstappen, but I think you're right. Albon could be a surprise this weekend going forward. So we'll keep tuned on that. Cars starting to come back out onto the track now. We've got Ricciardo, Ocon, Bottas, Norris, Hamilton, and the two AlphaTaures of Kvyat and Gasly out on the track. So things are starting to improve slowly here at the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. We are live from our UK studio in our commentary box, bringing you a watch-along coverage of this weekend's race. We're going to hear a car start up now.
Yeah, there it is.
Just alongside as well. Although a nice bit of fresh air just wafted through the commentary box. That was nice as well. Just looking at it, cars starting to come into the pit lane now. We've just lost a couple more than I said.
One of the ads just showed a glass breaking. A glass broke in my room the other day.
My fault. Sorry.
Yeah, because I have a table next to my bed.
And I opened the door and knocked over the table as well.
I was standing up as well, so he opened the door to me.
Yeah, it was annoying. I opened the door to nothing. But apart from not the table, sorry. The camera's on the table on the MacBook, so apologies for that. We are going to get some better equipment, but the lockdown's sort of restricting us. This is a lockdown broadcast, really.
Yeah.
It's restricting us to what we can and cannot do yet. So stand by.
Once I broke a glass, or a cup, I should say, by just breaking off a handle because I got really angry.
I remember that. That was annoying. Luckily, you didn't have any damage. The glass was in better wear, though. We've just got a message through from Race Control. Track temperature is risen up dramatically at the moment, and I've lost my timing, unfortunately. Maybe Megan can see it. Vettel's off the track, that's why.
Where do I put it?
Vettel went for a little live commentary. Vettel, as we've got pictures back now, just coming through the Maggots-Beckett complex, got on the grass on the exit to Chapel, and just had a bit of oversteer moment as well. So that was an issue, big time, for him. And he's complaining about it over the radio now. So not a good look there. And look, Vettel's out. And he's adjusting manually his brake bar wire system.
Himself.
Yeah, he's adjusting. He knows what he wants. He's the professor, the modern day Alain Prost. He knows everything with that car. And he's just adjusting it now.
It's just like, if you guys aren't going to do this, I am.
He's just checking. Look,
how?
Sorry, the engineer now just looking in and checking what Sebastian did, just to make sure he did it all right.
He's like, how did you do that?
What did you do? I think was what I was thinking of. To be fair,
like, what and how?
Kvyat just ran wide at the same part of the track, and we've got some magpies just flying on the side of the circuit of the hangar straight there.
I hope it's more than one.
Well, the people say, they're flying on there because they can't hear the car engine. No, these V6 turbocharged engines, yes, they were quiet to begin with in 2014, but honestly, now, I can guarantee, because I was at pre-season testing, they are so loud. unbelievably so. You go deaf almost. And I had headsets on and a mic as well, and it wasn't blasting back at me, but they are so loud. Somebody wants to know what our headsets are. Well, they're Audio Technica's BPSH1 headsets. Boom mic, that's why we got them. We discussed actually why we got headsets in Free Practice 1 during the red flag, didn't we? That's your fault, really, because you didn't want to have a lip mic pressed against Jane. So you just want to.
I don't like lip mics. I prefer this. I mean,
I'm the opposite. I'm the opposite. If I could, I would have a handheld lip mic round about now.
Nothing's stopping you.
COVID. Can't get anywhere to get any of them. Yeah, so it's all a bit of a disaster at the moment. But hopefully you're staying safe wherever you are in the world, and you're all right. And if any of you listening are sadly suffering with it, hopefully we can lift your spirits a little bit, and do get in touch and give us a story of Formula One that you've experienced, how you got into Formula One. Just tell us, and we'll read it out, and we'll share our experience of how we got into Formula One. Me?
No, I did.
Well, that was me. Yeah. Me. That's how you got into Formula One. I practically sat down and watched it constantly.
Yeah. Mary used to take care of me when Mum and Dad were out.
It was Formula One constantly and F1 games.
Yeah.
And of course, I got into Formula One via my dad, who's alongside us in the commentary box tomorrow, and Kellyanne, sister. He watched it as well.
Kellyanne?
Yeah, Kellyanne watched Formula One as well originally.
Did she?
Yeah, she used to tape it more than I did.
Oh, I remember you telling me about that the other day.
Hello, Kellyanne, if you're listening. If you are listening, get on with your work, because you should still be at work right about now. What time is it? It's 3:32 UK time. So yeah, get on with it. Yeah, look, they're now adjusting more in the brake bias of Sebastian Vettel's car. So he's not happy, is he, Megan? Quite clearly with the setup of that car. And it looks like they're cleaning some things as well. So they took the whole car down and then rebuilt it in the space of 4 hours. That is impressive.
Only to continue doing work on it.
Yeah, he might not get as much running today as we thought he might for Sebastian Vettel, unfortunately.
The only man on the track right now is Kvyat.
In the Alpha...
Sorry, that was my fault that time.
You knocked the camera completely there, didn't you? In the Alpha Touray at the moment, he's at the back of the track. And hopefully you're still hearing us. Yes, you are. Good.
Yay!
Track temperature 49 degrees, air temperature 35. I did say it was rocketed up there. That's almost Spanish weather. It's unbelievably hot. And we're sat here on the hottest day of the year. Now, the only difference is why we're not suffocating to death is in our studio with doors closed, one light there, one big light on us here to project us. It's the fact that where we live in North East Lincolnshire, we've got a nice coastal breeze from the sea.
Yeah.
Blowing through the town, so we've got quite cool, really.
Yeah, whenever it's like a hot day, if it's a wind, it's a nice crisp wind.
I'm just going to grab on my watch because it tells me what temperature it is if I actually look. It is 28 degrees in our part in Grimsby right now. So
is it?
Yeah, and over there in Silverstone, it's 35 degrees. So yes, we would like it to be hotter, but in the commentary box. I had a thermometer in here earlier on. Would you like to know the degrees in the commentary box?
Yeah, sure.
37 degrees.
What about now?
Oh, now with all the equipment on, it's 37. But resting, it's 27. So it's slightly cooler. That's why I said put your feet on the concrete floor. It's nice and.
Wait, it's supposed to be 37 right now.
In here in the commentary box. I think it might be wrong.
I think it might be because I'm not hot.
Yes, but you're never hot.
Yeah, true. I function more in cold.
Me, on the other hand, I'm sure you can see on the camera, it's reflecting the shininess of my face at the moment.
Is my face shiny?
No, not at all. Not at all. The light is on both of us.
Sometimes I feel like nothing affects me.
I don't think it does, Meg, to be fair. But just going quick, we've got 55 minutes of the session remaining. We are 35 into the session. We've gone on there now 40 minutes. I hope you're enjoying it wherever you are in the world. Do get in touch on the YouTube live chat. We're at Joshua Birch 29 on Twitter. #JB Motorsports as well. We will see your questions and get in touch as well.
I just figured out I'm basically the female version of Vicodin.
Basically, you are, yeah. We are live all weekend as well, so like this and subscribe below, turn on your notification alerts, and every time there's a Formula 1 car on track, we'll be here providing you with the coverage of a watch-along session as well. We can talk about what's going on, and we can share some insight of Formula 1 from what we've got over the last, for me, 21 years, you 15 years, and when Dad gets here, we've got pretty much every decade covered by the 50s. So, 60s onwards. And it's fun. It's weird not having him in the box because when we're live, it's usually us three, but it's just me and you for once on a live stream. And then I've just worked it out as well because I was trying to keep my own quiet. Do you remember the last free practice session you ever did in terms of on a Friday? Because you used to do free practice 3 a lot on your own.
Yeah, I enjoyed that time. I actually kicked you out the box.
Yeah, I went to Race Control for a few sessions. That was 2018 when we sort of had a little switched up. Megan did FP3.
Once I actually kicked you.
Out of the box, yeah. And so we in 2018 we had a little switch up. Megan was in the box. Or was it 19? Because you were in here as well. Might have been 19 as well last year. I think you did a couple last year.
Early 19 last year.
Yeah. Well, last year as well, Megan used to do free practice 3, and I used to be Race Control. And this year, so the last session you did must have been France last year of a practice session.
Yeah.
Long time. Albon is on a lap now, and he is setting the fastest first sector of anybody. It's a 27.586. The second sector mark is coming up as he rounds Maggotts and Beckett's through the chapel, down the hanger straight, and he's up by 0.285, so nearly 0.3 of a second faster than Bottas. The current gap is 4.5 tenths, so this is looking really good for Alexander Albon now. Fastest second sector of all. He's coming into Vale. Brake hard. Third gear, 100 kilometers at 70 miles per hour. Get the apex right for the entrance to club. Ride the exit curve, not too much. Control the line. A 1:27.364 and a great lap from Albon.
I've just noticed that Albon is way ahead of every single other person in the field right now, with sector 1 being 27.586. Though compared to people I don't know, Bottas, his last one was 38.28.
The time's beginning to come down. And the Renault team have just tweeted saying that they are focusing more on long-run performance this afternoon with the harder tyres. That does mean seeing less of the Renaults, though. So not a lot of them going on. Hello, this is Stroll going on a soft tyre run as well as Albon. So the gap is now, 3.5 tenths? Albon's got at the front. That might come down because if you look, Stroll's faster in the first sector by how much? 27.443. So good time from Stroll here. This is looking good. More cars starting to come out on the track as we come up to 50 minutes left in this session. They've changed the rule back this weekend as well, because previously, at the start of this year, they changed the rule that you could use the Pirelli test tyres only now in free practice 2. Up until the 50 minutes to go sign, 40 minutes into the session. But they've swapped the rule back this weekend. So that's what we saw in free practice 1 this morning. They could only use the testing tyres then. Now they're back to their aligned compounds of a standard amount for the beginning of this season. So the teams can't pick their own sets. Every team and every driver has got the same. Stroll has gone fastest. A 1:27.274. So he goes fastest by less than a tenth of a second, 9/100ths of a second faster. And then we get Grosjean into 8th place as well. And he's upgraded through the field. Yes, no, stayed where he is. Leclerc, fastest first sector, 27.443. Good second sector. Okay, third sector is 2 tenths down there, nearly 3 tenths actually. And there's a 1:27.570 and puts the team down a few positions as well. Magnussen on a lap now. Now, we're starting to do the fast runs now, aren't we? So this is where they're going to concentrate more on looking at the timing monitor, and I get to do the shouty bits.
Yeah, because I can read a timing monitor like no one else.
So Megan reads the timing monitor. I'll look at Magnussen. He goes up to 10th place, so 1:28.898. He goes, I can't see at the moment because it's, where is he? 1.624 off the pace of Lance Stroll. Many split strategies here. Now, this is Stroll coming through Maggotts and Beckett's. And this is it, the second Beckett's, the exit into Chapel. Everyone is going wide at the exit there, just catching the grass. We've seen that in Formula 2. Saw it a lot this morning in free practice 1. We're seeing it again here in free practice 2.
That grass must be ruined.
Yeah, well, that's something to watch on going qualifying as well. I wonder if the stewards will have a look to see if they want to put a track limits warning there.
I can hear the gardener now.
The gardener?
Yeah.
Yeah, Silverstone's gardener. Stuart Pringle, who's the managing director of Silverstone, must be doing his nutting right now that he's ripping up all the grass as well. So, this is Max Verstappen coming along the national start-finish straight where the British touring cars have their Grand Prix. And he's got Albon just in front of him as well. Blue flags out and waving. Coming through Maggotts and Beckett's now. looking good so far for Phil Verstappen. Nice and controlled. And he's been compromised. Who's in front of him? Grosjean. And he's off the track as well. Look at this. Verstappen's not happy at all. He slowed right down next to Grosjean, who compromised in mid-corner, coming through Maggots and Beckett's. And Verstappen furious, putting his hand out of the cockpit, saying, "What on earth are you doing?" So Verstappen not happy at all there with Grosjean.
Hulkenberg was.
Hulkenberg's happy. Yeah, he's got a clear run now as he's on to set a personal best in this session so far. He's 13th at the moment, out of club corner. He's got Leclerc just in front of him. He just gets out of his way. Brilliantly, Hulkenberg goes 5th on a 1:27.910. So Hulkenberg immediately back up there. And if I look, he's only 6 tenths away from Stroll, but they are on different strategies.
Why
in
is
the
he doing
race run.
better than he was when he was actually in Formula One?
I know, this is so weird. Well done, though, for Hulkenberg. It is last year's Mercedes,
I
basically.
guess having a break from things makes you
He's more
better.
hungry. He's more hungry, isn't he?
and determined.
Yeah, Sainz just had a little bit of a oversteer moment coming out of Stowe into the Vale chicane. Again, look, he's taking too much curb. The car's just not settling here at the moment. Across the line for Sainz. 5th fastest, 1:27.820. Drops Hulkenberg down a position.
I've been wondering, who cleans for trucks?
Marshals. They bring out
How
big
long does
lorries.
How long does it take?
It takes about 3 hours to properly clean this track.
Imagine having to clean this track with a toothbrush.
Yes. Oh, God, days. I just want to come over there as we're seeing a replay of the Verstappen and Grosjean incident. If you're watching this at home as well, as you can see what I meant. And Grosjean slowed down right in the middle of Maggots and Beckett's. And that could have been so nasty because Verstappen was on a proper belter. And you're flat out through that section as well. And Grosjean's going slow through it. And it very nearly was an accident. Verstappen lucky to avoid a big one there with Romain Grosjean. But Grosjean on the radio. Not sure what he's saying there, unfortunately, because the drop-down text menu isn't available. Hopefully we'll get that to you this afternoon in the Friday practice review that is on there later tonight. We've pre-record the show of an analysis of the Friday session, then put it out on YouTube as well. That's the standard practice. We do the review shows and only one live, but this weekend, bumper special. We are live for every session like we were this morning, free practice 1, but hopefully in better quality after last time. So we've got multiple cars out on the track. We're on board with Esteban Ocon. As we approach half distance in this free practice session, Ocon's looking quite good. We said this morning, Megan, in the commentary as well with Dad, about how he's looking a lot more calmer. When he's back to Formula One, he's a bit more appreciative, and he's trying his hardest in it now.
Yeah, he's not acting like Hulkenberg and Perez when they're together on the track.
Yeah. No, well, Hulkenberg, yes, I remember that now, yeah. Last season, they were always together. There's a lot of work going on the front there of Sebastian Vettel's car. A lot of work on the brakes as well, and the suspension setup. They are not happy whatsoever.
Especially with the part that Vettel fiddled with.
Red Bull have sent an engineer down outside the garage of Ferrari to have a look to see what's going on, to see if they can get any tips.
It's like, what are they doing? Go look.
I don't know if they should get any tips off the Ferrari, to be fair, because
they're doing better.
Yeah, they are. Ferrari are 5th in the Constructors' Championship, and Red Bull are doing way better than you could ever think. Yeah, precisely, yeah. Stroll fastest, a 1:27.274 at the moment as we approach half distance in the session so far. A yellow flag has just appeared on my monitor in the third sector. It's Alexander Albon in the wall! And I thought he was off the track, but he was spinning, and he's broken off the front suspension of the car. He's lost it coming out.
Red flag.
Yeah, red flag's out, so the session stopped. He's lost it coming out of the back of Stowe Corner on the run down to Vale, and he's put it in the wall. That must have been a brake failure, to be fair, to send him that far off into the barrier. But it's brought out the red flag at half distance. He's broken the rear suspension. He's broken the whole left-hand side of the car. The rear wing's damaged. That would have probably done the gearbox as well.
Yeah, it probably would have. I found out what Grosjean said.
Go on. Grosjean said on the radio, he did it on purpose, mate. That's so bleeping childish. I guess we can guess what that was as well. And that was to hold up Grosjean. But yeah, the red flag is out. Alexander Albon getting out of the car. He seems to be okay. Just passing his steering wheel to the marshal there. Understandably, he must be a bit shaken because he's just hit an Armco barrier as well.
Yeah,
So there's no,
that like vibrates through back to you.
yeah, there's no Tech Pro. Okay, let's have a look. So he's coming down the hanger straight then into the braking zone of Stowe, turns it in, okay, loses the rear, and it swaps around him. He tries to save it, but it switches around 90 degrees, sends him into the barrier, back first. It would have broke the gearbox, it's broke the floor, and it's broke the front suspension as well. It's definitely broke the floor, and it's definitely broken the gearbox as well. You can see it.
Tires.
The tyres are wrecked
There's
as
one
well.
tire that was
And
much better.
that's important as well because the rims are reused. The rims are reused. The actual tyre compounds are put on by Pirelli at the track, and the rims are reused, and that's another one gone. Front wing's damaged as well. That might be just repairable, but he hit it with quite a whack. The floor's damaged to bits. That's a new floor.
Something tells me he's going to need a lot of
It's
work
quite
on that
lucky.
car.
It's quite lucky that the Red Bull factory is in Milton Keynes, about half an hour away.
Yeah.
So, Megan, what do you make of this accident then? Because he turns it in, loses it. He turns in right, loses it, tries to correct it with the left. The car switches round on him, and puts him backwards. What do you make
I've
of it?
noticed that the car kind of stalled on the wheels. So,
I think the rear's locked.
yeah.
I want to see that from an off-board angle, to be fair, so we can get a proper indication of this. Grosjean just coming into the pit lane now under the red flag. I want to see if we get an off-board moment.
Just as he gets a new engineer.
Just to get the new engineer, yeah, as well. That's going to be
At least
bad.
he'll have some work to do.
Medical car is Dr. Ian Roberts. Just checks over Alexander Albon and will return him now to the pit lane. Look, it's not that far away actually because he's crashed at Stowe Corner. The pit entrance is literally just opposite the exit there.
Okay, I think that the gardener may try to kill Albon because he's made like a really, really bad patch on the lawn. So
Bold patch for Alexander Albon then as he's hit the wall and
Yeah.
has actually brought out the red flag in this session. We've now gone on an ad break on our TV pictures and we've got nothing else on the circuit to talk about. So Albon was running second fastest at that moment. He was on a 1:27.364 as well. So Megan, give us some stats on Albon, please.
he's had no podiums. He has 114 points
So far this year or in total?
in total.
That's impressive considering he only raced in 2019 as well and got the call up
Yeah.
mid-season to go to Red Bull. And now he's the second driver at the team. So, yeah, very impressive. Megan?
His highest race finish was 4th, and that happened twice.
He could have so easily got a podium twice, though. Do you remember in
Yeah.
Austria, Hamilton making contact with him and sending him off? And Albon looked good for the win in Austria, to be fair. And then, of course, there's the Brazilian Grand Prix last year where him and Hamilton again made contact for the first time then. And Albon also had contact with Sergio Perez in the second race in Styria at the same part where Hamilton went off. It was almost identical,
It's
but
a
this
very
time
unlucky
Albon held it off.
corner.
Such Gold at turn 4 was that part of the Red Bull Ring where he came to Cropper. But this time it is the turn 13 of Stowe that has caused the problem. I'm so used to Stowe being about turn 5. It's been 10 years since we've raced on this layout now. 10 years of the new Grand Prix layout. And I still can't believe it because Woodcote should be the last corner. Cop should still be turn 1. It's weird. But no, Abbey's now turn 1, followed by... We had this discussion in FP1. Abbey's turn 1, then Farm, Village, Loop, Aintree, Brooklands, Luffield, Woodcote, Copse, Maggots, Beckett's, Chapel, Hanger Straight. Then we go into Stowe, Vale, and Club. 18 turns. And 2 chicanes as well, if you think about it, because Maggins and Beckett's sort of runs as a chicane together as well. Oops, sorry, we've got a problem with the confirmation there. Going forward, luckily that didn't ring massively, did it? We had a phone call coming through in the commentary box there. There you can probably hear the notification bing. Apologies for that. Going forward, Megan, so when the session restarts, which it is going to soon, we understand, track temperature now 36, air temperature 36 degrees. It's rising up, isn't
Track
it?
temperature 48.
Medical car was sent out. Track temperature 48 degrees. Thank you, Megan. Yeah, we're in a bit of an interesting situation here, aren't we? Because
I've actually got a...
we can't play it, unfortunately.
Why?
Because we're on live. We can't play anything from FOM. We can only...
What if I go out of the box?
That's silly.
What if I go out of the box?
There's a
and
pair of
tell you what it
headphones
says?
just alongside you. Why don't you change headphones?
No.
We'll have a look later on. If someone wants to put in the
Frustrating.
group chat what you saw, then please do. We're just going back on air with Sky Sports F1. I am just getting a notification, so I've got to reply to that from the FIA. We're back on with Sky F1 now here. As we wait, as we see Lance Stroll on his run. He did run wide, didn't he, at the exit of the last corner?
Yeah.
Which was surprising. More than anything, really. If you just want to pop out the box for a few minutes.
Oh, I can listen to the thing as well.
Okay, well, Megan's just leaving the commentary box for a few moments as we have to rectify a little issue, which is going to hopefully not affect the broadcast. But yeah, Megan just popped back in the box. She'll be out in a second. We're still under the red flag here at the British Grand Prix at Silverstone as we approach, well, coming up to 35 minutes to go of the session as well. We are live here on YouTube. Thank you very much for joining us. We are live with radio coverage and watch along on the commentary box camera all weekend long here for the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. Every time there's a car on the track, we will be live giving you our reactions to it going forward. Alexander Albon has stopped on the track. He's crashed down at Stowe Corner. 1:27.364 was his best lap time, but it has actually brought us under a red flag here so far at Silverstone, so it's stopped the running going forward. No cars on the track. Sebastian Vettel, who's running in 20th place at the moment after his whole car was redone between free practice 1 and 2 with an cooler issue. Still not happy with it and still struggling. He's 3 seconds off the pace, 4 seconds even nearly off the pace, and he's having to do a lot of work. Track temperature at 49 degrees, air temperature at 36 degrees, and we've still got no sign when the red flag is going to come in for us to have a restart procedure as the car is just being taken off the track now for Albon. Broken rear suspension completely on the left-hand side. He's broke the floor, broke the suspension. He's no doubtly done the gearbox as well. It seems that he's done for this session as well, and it might be a grid penalty as well. Charles Leclerc's car now being checked over as well, similar to Sebastian Vettel on the other side of the garage. I'm just having a quick look. Some confirmation from race control when the session is restarting. We have got a session will restart at 15:55. That is in 2 minutes' time here in the UK. So the session is going to restart in 2 minutes' time for a 35-minute blast, it seems, for practice here at the 2020 Pirelli British Grand Prix. Megan is rejoining the commentary box in a few moments, hopefully with something from Alexander Albon as well. She's just popped off to race control, which is at a bit further down outside of our commentary box situation. Megan's rejoined the commentary box now. Hopefully he's listened to Alexander Albon as well going forward. Megan, did you hear from Alexander Albon? Oh, sorry, Megan. Say that again.
It was just reassuring that Albon was all right during the crash and after, checking that he got out the car okay and that he's not hurt very much so. And were we seeing a replay of car 20? So that car is
Kevin Magnussen. That's from Hungary. That's a new rear wing on the back of the Haas now.
Oh, that's slightly better than was before. Actually looks like it won't break as much. So, in Formula 1, you can test that to the limits. I think the only thing that hasn't broken before is a Halo.
Halo has never broken, actually. You are right with that fact as well. I'm just trying to see a few other things as well.
Got a little game of Dynamos there with all the drivers.
I'm just having to reply, as the green light is about to go on in 18 seconds, I'm just trying to find out some things that are coming up on the world feed that I'm getting text messages through about that incident with Albon as the press releases start to come out already. So the session is about to go green here at Silverstone. And the green light is on. The session restarts for the British Grand Prix. Free practice 2. As I found out that press release as well, Albon is being taken to the medical centre just for a check. So Albon to the medical centre for a preliminary check can usually never say that word. I'm glad I can this time.
Yeah, I can't say the word millennium.
You've
I
just
said
done it.
it.
You've just done it. That's 2 on the live stream.
Pacific. I usually say specific.
Well, you're having a good time here. The session is green. Bottas, Gasly, Hamilton, Kvyat, Ricciardo, Norris, and Latifi all heading out on the track then for the session. 35 minutes. It's sort of going to be like a mini qualifying now, isn't it? As everyone tries to get their race runs in and qualifying runs at the same time. We just clicked over an hour here on the YouTube live chat. We are on watch along form all weekend long. And I know there must be more than one listening. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching. I know that's always wrong going forward. So thank you, everyone, for watching and listening going forward. It's going to be a fun weekend as well. Going forward, we are all set for a great one. So, just had to have a thing with Megan for what it was about, but we're back now. Sorry for that little brief interruption. So, Lance Stroll on a 1:27.274 at the moment is the fastest man. Albon second, Bottas third, and Leclerc and Hamilton rounds out the top 5. Sainz, Hülkenberg, Raikkonen, Ocon, Giovinazzi, Verstappen, Grosjean, Russell, Magnussen, all still in the pit lane. Then we get Gasly, Ricciardo, Norris, Kvyat, Latifi, and Vettel still in the pit lane as well. He's down in 20th place. And I've got this as well to say, Megan. There's the fact that Vettel's still got a lot of issues with that car, and Leclerc, I believe, is also now having some issues, and they're changing some settings going forward there as well. It's all chaos at the moment, isn't it, as well?
Yeah.
And I know you're just watching the live chat on there as well, which is why, can I have a quick look at that?
Just...
Well, it looks a lot better than it did this morning.
I was just checking to see whether the quality was
better than it was this morning, yeah. It just confused me for a second. I look over and Megan's watching us on her mobile device. But Lewis Hamilton is on a lap time then. He's on the soft compound tyre. Now, this strikes to me he's on a qualifying run, doesn't it? Yeah. Not race run. We're about the time it would be for qualifying tomorrow, the end of Q3.
Yeah.
So he's doing he's doing quali 1, but gone too deep at Luffield.
What is it with that specific corner?
It's this whole sector. The old part of the track seems to be creating so much drama this weekend. The national part of the circuit, just so much drama constantly. I don't know what it's about, but we're loving it, and hopefully it continues out the race. Wouldn't it be wonderful to see some times disallowed in qualifying key moments and really adding to these?
But you know what I think we should be concerned about?
What?
The fact that both sessions have had a red flag in.
That is worrying.
It makes me concerned for the next session, qualifying, and the race mainly.
Well, the race has only been the British Grand Prix has only ever been stopped 4 times in its history.
Yeah, there could be a 5th.
Yeah, only 4 times in its history has the British Grand Prix ever been stopped.
70 years, only 4 times. Well, I'm going to do 70 minus.
Yeah, at Silverstone. Only 4 times it's ever been stopped at Silverstone. The Brands Hatch has had a number of red flags as well. But the British Grand Prix... Now, let's see if I can get this right. 1976... 1977 was red flagged. 1974 was red flagged. 1998 was red flagged. No, I'm going to restart this again and try and get it right. So, 1974 was red flagged. 1977 was red flagged. 1999 was red flagged. And 2014 was red flagged. They are the 4 of the red flags that we've had at Silverstone.
It says here if you do 70 divided by 4, it's once every 17.5 years.
Massively impressive. Wow. Are we due one? I think we are. We could see. See. Who knows? It's an unpredictability. Personally, I like seeing the race stop because it provides a bit of strategy. Oh, wow, this is going to be a great restart. But never like to see it for a driver injured. Never like to see it for any accidents. And it is hell for me and you to fill quite a lot of time in the commentary. Michael Delgado on the YouTube chat. Nico within 0.6 of a second of leader, strictly on raw talent. Impressive. We said that earlier on in the broadcast as well. It really is impressive. I completely agree with you there, Michael. It is impressive. Where is he? 7th at the moment. And I honestly think if he's dialed in, he'll sleep tonight, come back tomorrow, and he'll understand the car more. And I think he'll definitely be in Q3.
Yeah, this is only the first day and he's done this well already.
I think it's too early to say podium this weekend, but I think next weekend at the same track and he'll be in the same car, I think next weekend is a good shout for a Hulkenberg podium. If he does it this weekend, I'll be surprised. But this weekend, to be in the top 10 and 0.6 off, I think that is amazing from Hulkenberg. And he hasn't raced since December.
I kind of want that.
So I'm hoping Hulkenberg gets a podium. But he might lock up the second row. Who knows? There's a long, long way to go yet. And qualifying is tomorrow. It's going to be exciting. This is not going to be a British Grand Prix to miss. And you can watch all of it here on the YouTube channel with live coverage of a watch-along style. So you'll see the commentary box camera of me and Megan. We'll be commentating on the session. It's live on Channel 4 in the UK and Sky Sports F1. Just stick theirs on and watch us and have a good old natter. And a proper Formula One fan atmosphere we're trying to create this weekend. Of course, with no fans at Silverstone. It's time for a little bit of a relaxed chat about Formula One and a bit more like down the pub with your mates is what we're trying to bring you. A bit more relaxed atmosphere, but we're still being serious and reporting on the action going forward. Stroll, as I said, is top from Albon, Bottas as well, and Raikkonen's on the lap time now in the top 10. Cars starting to come out on the track. Temperature still at 36 degrees. It's risen now more as well.
I wonder what it is in here.
Don't know. As we said earlier, the commentary box is a lot hotter than outside at the track at the moment. Red Bull mechanics descend on the Red Bull of Albon's. Front wing has actually completely broken now, so that's gone. The floor's probably gone. The suspension's already, as we know, gone. The gearbox probably damaged as well. The rear wing gone. That's an expensive job for Red Bull. And of course, if they brought any updates specific with the wing and they didn't have a lot of spares, it's going to be a lot of issues going forward, isn't it? What do you think?
It will continue to have a lot of issues, I think, as well. I mean, it's bound to. This really is.
I'm just having a quick look, actually, at the last time we saw Hulkenberg in qualifying 3. I don't think it was at his last race. I think he got knocked out in qualifying 2. But he's good here. He's always been in qualifying here. 2014, 2017, the only time he's failed to gain positions during a race for Hulkenberg. And his best qualifying result came in 2014 when he qualified 4th.
Sorry, I knocked the thing again.
I knocked it as well. So, yeah, he has actually got a lot of improvement here. So Hulkenberg knows this circuit well. It's an easy one to get used to as well. It's challenging, though. And he's going to feel it on Sunday, isn't he? 52 laps, 2 hours around Silverstone. You're going to feel it. It is a horrible circuit.
It's going to go numb again.
It's a horrible circuit for a long distance race because it beats you up. It's great for a spectacle, but this track beats you up big time, as you all know.
I'll go home with bruises.
You do as well. Sebastian Vettel, 20th. He's back out on the track after about 20 minutes of the team and himself adjusting the car. That's got to be the shot of the season. Sebastian Vettel changing his own Ferrari as well into Magnussen and Beckett. He's Ginger, isn't he? He's Ginger Lee going. Is he on the outlap? He is. Yeah, he's on an outlap. He's got Raikkonen just behind him as well. Where do you think Vettel will end up in this session then? He's 20th at the moment. He didn't really put time in. Where do you think he'll end up?
17th.
You think he's going to just be ahead of Russell? Is it that bad?
Maybe.
Well, Megan's the doom bringer.
I thought that or 15th.
Michael Delgado again. Hello. Hulkenberg's best ever career finish in the British Grand Prix was P6. Interesting. So he's currently one position off it. Not bad.
And earlier on, he was one position ahead.
Yeah, he qualified 4th. He's his best one, but I didn't have his best ever result. So I'm going to write
Why
that.
is everyone else better equipped than me?
I'm going to write that onto my commentary notes right now, actually, because obviously we quickly put Hulkenberg. I've got it here. I'll show you the camera, actually. There's Hulkenberg's race notes, and I quickly typed it up this morning and reprinted that page out when I realized that Perez wasn't here. So yeah, interesting. Hulkenberg best finish. I'm writing it down right now. Best finish equals P6,
and
so
everyone else is just much more prepared than me.
We'll keep that ahead and see if he can do anything this weekend going forward. So thank you for that, Michael. I've added that to my commentary notes now. And we'll have that prepared going forward as well. Talking of Sebastian Vettel, I've got his race notes here alongside as well. For the first time in the British Grand Prix, Vettel finished in a position outside of the points last year. 16th after that incident with Max Verstappen as well. 17 and 18 was P6, 2 P7 finishes as well. Happy to help. Thank you very much, Michael. Yeah, thank you very much as well.
See, even you're better prepared than me.
Yeah, you're better prepared than me at the moment with Hulkenberg. Well, the problem is, we got the confirmation Hulkenberg was going into this session 20 minutes before P1 started. But I already thought he might be in, so I did write him into the commentary notes this morning. But I didn't have time to do the full research. So that'll be coming tomorrow. But thank you for that, Michael. Yeah,
I would have had the time, I just didn't.
we're live all weekend, so yeah, come back and help us. You can be our stat man if you like, Michael. You're welcome along all weekend long. We've got Vettel, and Megan's right. He only went P18 on that run, 1:28.860. So Vettel's not improving at all, is he? At the moment, there's something fundamentally wrong with that Ferrari, more than there has been this season. Because Leclerc's P4, Vettel's P18, and they stripped the whole car this morning. And I think that was the wrong way to go. It just doesn't look happy. He doesn't look happy. Coming through Luffield, does he have a twitch of oversteer? Big time. Rolls into the
Whoa.
gravel trap as well,
He
nearly.
nearly got a invalid time.
Right, so yeah. Did he go off the track a bit too much? Did he keep four
No,
wheels? No, he kept it on.
one wheel
Yeah,
on.
you're right. He kept one wheel on the black and white curb, so he should be all right there. But he's over that white line, and for me, the white line should indicate when you're on the track or not. So I'm slightly like at loggerheads with that. Why is it now the curbs are the track limits, not the lines?
All this going off the track reminds me of when we're doing racing on games.
Yeah. Well, you cheat. You don't brake.
I don't brake, and I like to crash into your car just to make you lose.
I've just thought of a brilliant analogy. You wouldn't say to a child, like, you don't have to colour within the lines, will you? You teach them to colour in the lines. So why can't racing drivers be taught to stay in the white lines? It's quite peculiar, that. And I love what the British Touring Car...
You should make a quote of that.
I should. I love how the British Touring Car Championship are so strict on them. You go over the white line at all, your lap time's gone. So they've got
training a child.
Formula One's going the right way, but they must do more. They must do more.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Hamilton at the moment is on a slow lap. He's not improving that much, but this is, I believe, this is a race run. This is a race run for Lewis. I can identify it because he's so far from his sector times. I think everyone's doing a race run. Carlos,
tire temperatures are sky high.
You want to say that again?
Tire temperatures are sky high. That's what Sainz says.
That's Carlos Sainz's team radio there as well. I was just about to say that. You already said it, so I thought, all right, I'll let you have it. Tire temperatures are sky high then going forward. I don't know. This is a tricky one because Mercedes seem to be off the pace, but we had Verstappen fastest this morning, and now we've got Stroll fastest in the afternoon. Are Mercedes just sandbagging a little bit to prepare for the race?
Probably. I mean, it's a very difficult race. They're probably just like, okay, don't give it your all. Give it all in the race to save it.
Yeah, saving everything, saving the engine, saving the tyres, saving everything you possibly can.
I would just have fun when it came to free practice.
I think that's it. The drivers love it. The drivers love doing practice because, yes, it's stressful, yes, it's annoying, but they love driving the car to the limits. And this is the only time, really, you can drive the car to the limits. Qualifying, yeah, but qualifying, you're so pent up with aggression and anger and passion.
And the need to get a position.
Yeah, precisely. So you're constantly on performance. And here, you can relax a little bit and drive the car with your head as well. Vettel at the moment, 1.079 seconds off the pace. Yeah, he's on the race run as well. So we're into the race run strategies now. And unfortunately, they still don't provide us with a timing graphic to show us a race run strategy, which does annoy me. We have got another lap time section, actually. And I can see that it was a 1:32.44.6 for Leclerc on the last round. So Leclerc is backing up massively, 1.6. And Vettel was still 18th now, improves up, but only 1.586 off the pace as well. So Vettel stays 18th. That car's got a problem. What's he done now at the back half of the track? Coming into Chapel. Catches the front on the grass. Yep. And gets it again. Kicks up the dust in the grass.
This wire's trying to strangle me.
I'm sorry about that. There you go. Brake ducts being taped on and cleared at McLaren for Lando Norris going forward as well. He's had an interesting time of it, hasn't he, Lando Norris? 3rd place in Austria, 5th place in Styria, and then a complete nightmare in Hungary in many respects, but still is his 4th in the championship coming into this race.
Well, allowed bad days. That was just his.
I think that was his bad day, yeah. Hopefully he does better here because that McLaren is looking quick, and honestly is looking good.
I'm impressed that the top 3 are Stroll, Albon, and Bottas.
Who would have predicted that?
I know.
Perez, I bet, is kicking himself right now that he can't be part of all this.
It's probably just like, why?
He can hear them as well. He's still at the track. He's isolated in his motorhome for 14 days, and he can hear the cars. Because obviously now he can't leave the circuit until the end of this meeting to go forward. So he's stuck in his motorhome that the drivers bring to all these races to stay at the track, and he's stuck here, and he can hear the cars. I'm wondering though, if because obviously he says he's got no symptoms, and he has got the virus, but he's got no symptoms, and he feels physically fit. I wonder if they should get him on a FaceTime chat or a Zoom conversation chat. That might be something to have a conversation with him about. So yeah, we'll see what we can see what happens there. What Sky or Channel 4 do, and I think even we might try and see what we can do, and if we can have it in there, may as well have a go. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Tire blankets have just got for a flash up here for safety reasons. Tire blankets are not permitted in the pit lane at any time during the race, but they are in practice because that's just flashed up because one of the teams would put tire blankets onto their car back into the garage a few minutes ago.
Oh,
that's interesting.
very.
One ad break here on Sky Sports F1, so we're talking to ourselves again, but the track is alive at the moment, isn't it? As we look down to our second monitor of the 7 we have in the commentary box. And we see that we've got loads of cars on the track. I'm always scared to say, well, there's only 3 drivers in the pit lane, and that is Albon, who's crashed out, Norris, and Vettel. So Vettel's back in the pit lane. Everybody else on the track. That's impressive stuff here at Silverstone.
It is.
How long's left of the session? 18 minutes. 18 minutes precisely left of the practice session here at Silverstone. And I'm just looking at some other monitors as well we have in the commentary box. And more specifically, Hülkenberg, who is on a personal best. Where is he? He's backed out in the 3rd sector. That's a shame. Hülkenberg was going to improve up there, but he's backed out of it.
What is it with Vettel on the pit? You've just been in the pit.
How many times has he been in the pit lane today? We can actually see obviously hit the monitor correctly.
He spent most of the day in the pit lane.
He's done 8 laps in total. He's done 13 laps in total now. 13 laps.
He spent all day in the pit lane.
I must admit, I'm quite worried for him. I very much am quite worried for him going forward.
Like sabotage.
I'm now informed that Albon has left the medical centre. So Alexander Albon has left the medical centre. That was just precautionary anyway. We saw him get out of the car and he seemed to be physically okay. But I wouldn't be surprised if he was shaken a bit because that was a heavy impact with an Armco barrier and there was no Tecpro on it. So the car would have absorbed all of the action as well. But we've got a little bit of a train forming behind Nico Hülkenberg at the moment. We've got Ocon right behind and Latifi.
Well, we're all just excited for him to be back. We're just like, come on, let's follow the leader.
I feel sorry for Raikkonen at the moment. Got Gasly right in front of him on the track map here, and he's got no room to improve up the order to get a faster time. Yes, he gets the toe, but still, I don't think that's going to be an advantage here.
He's like, let me through.
The only 2 parts of the track where you can get the toe is Wellington Straight and Hangar Straight. Everywhere else is just a deterrent.
Yeah.
So that's going to be something to watch. When someone asks who the fastest so far is in FP2, that's a Racing Point just retweeting something from WTF1, who have got a very good run in the social media teams championship. And I suggest you check them out as well if you already haven't. Who hasn't heard of WTF1 so far, to be fair. As we're back with TV pictures in the commentary box, we were supposed to have the pit lane channel going forward, but unfortunately it failed us this morning, so we had to revert back to just using the normal pictures.
Yeah, we tried that.
Vettel's back in the pit lane now. He's still in the car. That's a positive sign, Megan. And of course, he does have to go back out on the track again to do a practice start.
Why
He
is he still in the pit lane? What the hell is wrong with his car?
I agree. Ferrari.
Sorry for anyone who had headphones on.
Yeah, sorry if you had headphones on. Well, if you are, reminder, turn me down a little bit for the race and qualifying tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's going to be loud. Everything always is at the start of a
race. But again, I have to wear headphones. Last week, I literally had to do that.
Yeah, you had to take your headphone off you in order.
That's how excited you were.
Well, it was the start of the season a couple of weeks ago, and you did Hungary as well. Yeah, it was exciting. Let's have a look here.
Start of the season was when I had to take my headphones off.
Who's completed the most laps? Looking at the monitor, Leclerc's done 19, Hamilton's done 20, Sainz 23.
It's Latifi and it's Sainz with 23. Oh, and Ocon.
Yeah, so Sainz, Ocon, and Latifi have all done 23 laps so far in this session and have got the most track time. I'm surprised Hülkenberg's only done 17 laps though. I thought he would have done more to try and get back up to speed.
Weirdly, Verstappen's done less than Vettel.
Where's Verstappen? For 12, oh, well, yeah, 12 laps, yeah, 14th on the board for Verstappen.
What's he been doing? I mean, how can he be doing less laps than a person who's literally been in the pit all day?
It's quite surprising. It's surprising. It is surprising. Vettel's done 13 laps. Verstappen's done 12 so far, and he's 14th fastest. Verstappen must have some issue as well as Leclerc has a little sideways moment through the Vale chicane. I think Verstappen must have some issue as well. He's still in the pit lane going forward. In fact, both the Red Bulls in the pit lane. Maybe they're just taking a break before heading back out on the track. Hülkenberg is out on the track at the moment.
Well, we know why Albon's in the pit lane because his car's messed up. Speaking of, here's Max Verstappen, the other Red Bull, sitting in the car doing nothing.
I think he's getting ready to go out, personally.
I think he was having a drink as well.
I just had to drink as well. You can see that on the commentary box camera. Sorry about it. I hope you're liking the commentary box camera. It's a new feature. We're going to have it improved going forward. This is just a beta run, really. But yeah. The one problem is when we did the radio coverage where it was just black screen with us talking, we could mute our mics and take drinks and everything. With the commentary box camera, you always
sneeze a yawn.
Yeah, and the commentary box, as Megan says it, you always have to remember on the commentary box camera that you're not just talking about the pictures on radio. People can see you, and it's difficult because
And I yawn a lot.
this isn't the usual setup of what we do on the YouTube channel, is it? This is more like the commentaries we do, but the difference is you can see us. That's the only difference going forward. We see Stroll 127.274 at the moment. Albon, he's in a 10th as well, and I think it's going to stay that way. I think Stroll's going to end the session top.
Yeah.
They ended practice 2 fastest or practice 1 fastest in Hungary either as well.
And by the way, the reason why I'm yawning so much is because I did not get enough sleep.
Leclerc locked up on the entrance to Vale there and locked the rear as well. Oversteer coming in, so that was not good at all going forward. I said a lot, didn't I, going forward? Look at the oscillation on the rear tyre as well. It's vibrating off the rim almost so much. And Vettel's now back out on the track, Megan. So Sebastian Vettel back out onto the track. Are you happy with that?
Yes, he can actually do something other than 13 laps. I mean, I'm also... Wait. Yay!
14. And
Verstappen's out as well.
Norris is coming out of the pit lane too. Albon stays in. I think they want to get a tow maybe for Verstappen.
Oh,
So they're going to
okay.
hold off Albon for a lot longer.
Yeah.
Which isn't surprising, really. But I suppose it's good. I suppose it's good. I suppose it's going to give Red Bull something to do in this session. If anyone has any questions, drop them in the YouTube chat. We can see the YouTube chat as well on another monitor we have in the commentary box. So do get in touch. On Twitter as well, JB Motorsports, at Joshua Birch 99 as well.
No.
And Vettel's back into the pit lane. After an outlap, Vettel comes back into the pit lane as well. Megan's frustration, I don't even have to look at her. I can feel that you're getting angrier and angrier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were.
If your car's messing up. Well, yeah.
Pit stop practice. Did you just go back out again? He's struggling. He's continuing to struggle. Megan's not happy with that one.
If he thinks there's something wrong with a car, I'll give him something wrong with the car.
Muting the mic. She does this all the time. You'll love this going forward over the weekend. But I think he's not happy.
I'm not happy.
We're not going to see Seb at his best until free practice 3, are we? If he
Better be
can get
better.
it up to his best at all, going into
You
the
watch.
future.
I'm his bad luck. Like I was with Hartley.
We don't mention Brendan Hartley.
Explain what happened.
Well, we mentioned Brendan Hartley on one of the live streams a couple of weeks ago in Styria, and then all of a sudden, bang! What happened?
He's fired.
He's fired. He's fired. That's a shocker, isn't it?
Just don't mention him in front of me.
He's in the World Endurance Championship anyway. That resumes next month in Spa, so he's okay there.
I'm like a curse to that man.
McLaren have not featured in the top 10 fastest pit stop at any race this season. He just came out, actually, did Lando Norris, right in front of Lance Stroll. That might be a little ticking off on the stewards there for a bit of an unsafe release. If Stroll had to brake, I think he did, to be fair.
Yeah. I walked into the back of a commentary box once,
And he spun.
and Brendan Hartley spun.
Yeah, locked up the front tyres. Here's the replay. Stroll gets released out the pit lane. McLaren released Lando Norris, and
Ooh, I would count that as an unsafe release.
I don't know. Stroll didn't have to brake at all. I think that was just timed perfectly.
I know, though. I would still count it dangerous. I mean, what happens if
Hmm?
one of the drivers went a bit too quick or a bit too slow? I mean, that would just be total chaos.
Not sure. Not sure, to be fair, going forward.
Has there ever been a pit lane crash?
Yeah, it happened here last year, actually. Grosjean knocked off his front wing. Happened most famously, of course, in Germany in Hungary, 2010. Sutil and Petrov hit each other coming out of the box. One was going in, one was going out, hit off, but suspension both out the race. And it happened with the same race, in the same pit stop. Rosberg's tyre bounced off down the pit lane. So there was a lot of chaos in that opening lap in Hungary back in 2010. There was an accident in 1981 as well at Zolder. One of the team mechanics fell off, and a marshal fell off the pit wall, and one of the drivers hit him, and injuries as well. Going forward, I think the man sadly died on the following Monday after the race, and that had so much safety in Formula One going forward. It kick-started the pit lane that not every Tom, Dick, and Sarah Jane could be in there. I know it's Tom, Dick, and Harry, but that was a Doctor Who thing there. It rolled off the tongue. I was aiming for Harry, but it just hit Sarah Jane and said it's off.
Well, both of them are Doctor Who characters.
Yeah, I know, but that was the point.
They're the same era as well.
Yeah, but yeah, so
he used to be obsessed with Harry.
So that incident is all the kick-started the pit lane safety, and since then, pit lane's a lot safer place, but accidents still do happen, as we saw a couple of weeks ago in the race itself as well. Going into this, it looks like with 8 minutes to go, Stroll is still the fastest on a 1:27.274.
No, it's just got something to say.
I don't know what. I was trying to listen there, but unfortunately, we haven't got our radio coming through there. I've just also remembered something that we could actually listen to the radio, then report it back to you if we press the right button, but it won't appear on the YouTube channel. So we might have to do that next time. We'll test it out next time there's a radio.
Oh, I could go outside again.
No, because then they'll be running in and out every time in the race. It's a bit pointless. We'll just continue as we are. It's more fun this way. We're winding down the coverage here today from live streaming of the practice sessions. Tomorrow we will be back for the third practice session. I think that's at 10:55 again, maybe. Yeah. And then, of course, the qualifying as well. I think that's at 2:00 going forward. I think everything moves back an hour, so it might be 9:55. I'm not too sure. With that one, we'll get that confirmed to you before the end of the program.
Remind me to go to sleep at midnight, not 2.
You went to sleep at 2? I was in bed at 11.
I go to sleep at 2 nearly every night.
I was in bed at 11 o'clock last night, and I was ready for the live stream this morning.
Yeah.
It was a disaster, admittedly, the live stream this morning. The camera quality was bad, but hopefully we fixed it for this one.
Ever since I was a child, I just go to sleep late. Mum and Dad had no control over my sleep schedule.
Nobody can have any control over your sleep schedule.
I made that clear to everyone.
You're insane with your sleep schedule going forward.
I'm a night person. I like to be up at night.
I do. I must admit, everybody who watches Formula One in a different time zone must admit that the night shifts are quite fun, but they do get slightly annoying by the race. If you get up for practice and qualifying during the night, it's all right. By the time you get to the race, you're absolutely knackered, and by Sunday, you're practically a walking zombie.
I make sure, though, to never be up past 3 a.m. That's just my cut-off point.
Yeah.
Not because of anything. It's just because I know then it's too late to go to sleep.
I will say, whoever watches the Radio Le Mans coverage for the 24-hour race as well knows how difficult and how everybody looks so shiny and new at the start on the commentary box camera. And then by the end of it, the 25 hours on broadcast, everyone is just so drained. And for me as well, because we do the whole thing on YouTube. Not that we do set programs, we do the commentary on the whole thing and Instagram as well. But it's so exhausting doing 24 hours.
I reckon I could be okay because I went to school once on 4 hours of sleep.
I've done more. I've done more. But honestly, it's so exhausting doing 24 hours. But the thrill, the ultimate thrill you get of doing Le Mans.
You just gotta have adrenaline.
Yeah. And the thrill of doing Le Mans, the thrill of seeing the cars, listening to them all, it's like nothing else, Le Mans. It is fantastic. And I'm looking forward to it next month, I believe, if we're in August yet. Are we in August yet? No, tomorrow. 2 months away. September 19th to the 20th is Le Mans. And it's a whole week of coverage as well.
Oh.
Don't know why you're going on there.
Because that reminds me that soon I'll be in year 11.
Sorry for you. Going forward,
September.
look at this. When was the last time you saw Williams ahead of a Ferrari? This is not good for Vettel. He's slower.
20 years ago.
He's slower by 1/10 of a second to Russell as well. You say 20 years ago? I think you're right about that. I was just thinking 2000, 2001, 2002 was the Montoya, Ralf Schumacher era where they were quicker than Ferrari with those BMW engines. We've just seen Williams seem happy with the result today. Latifi's 20th, Russell 17th, but they've got a surprisingly good qualifying car, as we saw in Hungary and in Styria, where the rain came down as well. So it could be something. Watch them in qualifying. Maybe they get a Q2 appearance, maybe not at home soil. Keep your fingers crossed, though, for Williams going forward. Vettel doing more laps now than he has consistently throughout the whole session, Megan. So this must make you a bit happy. Vettel's doing constant laps again and again. No Mission Winnow
Can we just
logo on the
check
car.
how many Verstappen and Vettel has done?
There you go. There you go. Look at the laps in total. Vettel has done 19 laps in total. 19 for Verstappen. They're level. And they're out on the track now as well.
How can they be level?
Well, there's Verstappen, there's Vettel, and there's Verstappen just coming into left field now behind Magnussen.
There's something seriously wrong with both of their cars.
Indeed. There needs to be something looked at there going forward.
Yes.
So, 3 minutes to go. A little breather there. I was just trying to think of something to say. My brain wasn't thinking fast enough. Look at that track temperature. The highest it's been all weekend, 47 degrees. Air temperature at 35 degrees. The cloud cover, though, has started to come over. And that'll help the Formula 2 lot who are on after this, who does the qualifying session. So they'll have to run the softer tyres, and they'll bite more into the circuit. Yeah. And it is weird. There's no fans in the grandstand. It does look completely weird as Vettel locks up going into the Vale chicane. Again, before club. It's a southwest breeze at the moment, so it's just going down the opposite way of the Hangar Straight. And it's a 1:34.744 on that lap for Vettel. So he's not improving either, thinking about it. So there's a lot of work to do still. And this is that lock-up into Vale that just happened with Sebastian Vettel. Coming in, brakes, and locks the front left inside. Easy to do on worn tyres, or a problem with the brakes still?
Problem with the brakes, I think, maybe.
It's the fact that it was little pressure.
Yeah, I mean, look, some of his wheels are kind of stalling a bit.
It was a big lock-up for a little braking zone as well, so I do agree with you there.
So, weirdly, he didn't really go off much.
No, he didn't, did he? I agree, he didn't go off the track much. He managed to keep it in as much as possible, but I don't know, there's a lot of work to do for Ferrari. A lot of work to do for Ferrari going forward.
Always.
Here comes the AlphaTauri of Pierre Gasly coming into Village. 8th at the moment.
We've got 1 minute and 25 seconds left of this session.
Could sound a bit more enthusiastic about it. Going forward.
Speaking of, why aren't I sounding more enthusiastic?
I don't know.
I'm tired. I mean...
You've done both sessions today.
Yeah.
That's something that you've never done before. Welcome to my world. Just going forward...
How are you awake?
Adrenaline. Just going forward, we will have a pit lane reporter on Saturday and Sunday. Ian Burge, our dad, will be at race control, looking at multiple screens and providing us with information as well, as he will be not in the commentary box, but he will be. You can actually see him tomorrow in Free Practice 3. Megan,
I just saw a piece of plastic bag on the track.
There wasn't that blew back on a couple of years ago of plastic bags. It was a balloon that blew on the start finish straight. They had to stop the session to get it, and I don't know where the plastic bags come from. It is a very
I think it came from the pit lane.
It's a very flat area here at Silverstone, and it is an RAF base, so old RAF base, so it's pretty flat for it just to blow around. So maybe it has come from somewhere. 13 seconds left in the session going forward. And the session is about to finish. 5, 4, 3, 2-1. The checker flag is out now here. And it will be Lance Stroll ending the session fastest, responding to criticism this morning that Hülkenberg was 3/10 into behind him. He's gone fastest on a 1:27.274. Alexander Albon has gone second, but did crash out of the session, causing the red flag. He has been released from the medical centre. Valtteri Bottas ends it third, Leclerc fourth, and Lewis Hamilton, the championship leader, and going for 7 victories here at Silverstone, goes P5. Not a bad session, all in all. It was more useful.
If these was the races.
And this was the race result. Well, we would be going mad that Racing Point have just won.
Yeah.
Racing Point seem to be dominating the main headlines this year. I mean, the protest that Renault have got with their cars, Perez with COVID-19, Hülkenberg now coming back in for the next 2 races, Stroll, is he going to stay with the team? Is Perez going to stay with this team? Is Vettel going there? Racing Point, the team to get your sponsorship on at the moment, I'd argue. Get your name on the side of that car. Everyone's going to be watching it going forward. So yeah, get your name on that car for sponsorship if you're coming into Formula One. Aston Martin are taking over it next year. So it'll be in green, British Racing green, we understand.
Oh, yellow sector 3.
It's Nicholas Latifi, I think. And it is Latifi. He spun
Well, that does not look good.
He spun at the exit of Stowe Corner, but I don't know where he is. I think he's coming in. Yeah, he's gone backwards, look. He's at the exit of Stowe. And now he's driving the wrong way on the track to get back on. He's driving the wrong way back up, cut back on. And I think he's done the same as Albon there. He's come in and lost the rear and just skidded on. Luckily, he hadn't hit the barriers. So
he's going a bit strangely with his car.
I think he's flat spotted the tyres as well. Problem is, he's got to do a practice start now. Let's have a look. So coming... Oh, hello. Does he just drop it on his own? We've got Gasly and Raikkonen just behind. And yeah, he drops it on his own.
Oh.
At the exit of Stowe.
They were lucky.
And into the gravel. Yeah, they were lucky. Gasly was lucky not to bam into the side of him there. Yeah. It was a simple oversteer moment. Saw that earlier on. It's the whole back half of that circuit, Megan, that seems to be causing the problems in practice today. I don't know if that's the track temperature being so hot and so fast, but the old section of the track, everything in the second sector, from Maggots all the way to Vale, is causing problems.
See, his tyres are quite worn out already.
Yeah, even before the spin, you can see on the inside tyres. So the loss of grip must have been an issue as well. And this is on board with Kimi Raikkonen, with Gasly ahead. And oof, that was close. Very close. And the practice starts now taking part on the grid as well. Let's see who gets a good launch. We're looking at Lewis Hamilton now. Does he get a good launch? Yes, he had engine worries. Whether the car would stall at the start of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Gingerly got away from pole position and took the race win as well. Bottas now. Good practice start for him as he launches. As everybody else just starts to get ready here at Silverstone for the Pirelli British Grand Prix. Friday action is done. And surprisingly, looking at the stats, it is Lance Stroll who is the fastest man on Friday. Complete fastest as well. No rain, a washout, same conditions as we had in the 2 sessions. This is unbelievable. Racing Point are actually quite decent. What do you think, Megan?
Yeah, I think they are.
Well, back to how the session results flash up on the screen. We'll go through them one by one. Then I'll ask Megan her results of the day, findings of the day, and we'll sign off. And I'll get making the Friday practice review that'll be on air later on this afternoon as well. Do join us here on YouTube tomorrow morning for the 3rd practice session. We are live again and live for qualifying. We have the Saturday practice review in between them, followed by the race coverage on Sunday with the preview show, the main race live, and then the review show a couple of hours later as we discuss everything. And the Grand Review podcast will be next Wednesday as well before the second race at Silverstone next weekend. It's a good one, actually, this weekend, isn't it? Latifi, the last driver to set his practice start and gets a good launch. He scrubbed all that nasty gravel off his tyres. It is Sergio Perez regretting missing out in this session because it's his teammate, Lance Stroll, gone fastest for Racing Point. Alexander Albon is 2nd and Valtteri Bottas 3rd. 4th place for Charles Leclerc. Lewis Hamilton is 5th. Carlos Sainz is 6th. 7th for Nico Hulkenberg. Impressive, as I said, 6/10 off the pace. He's going to be good into qualifying tomorrow. He'll be one to watch. Pierre Gasly is 8th, Daniel Ricciardo 9th, and Kimi Raikkonen rounds out the top 10 here at Silverstone. Dropping down the order, Lando Norris goes P11 overall for McLaren. Then we get Esteban Ocon in 12th. 13th for Antonio Giovinazzi. Max Verstappen, 14th. And as you suspect, there's something wrong with the Red Bull. Danny Kvyat is in 15th. Romain Grosjean 16th. George Russell 17th. Bad session for Ferrari, with Sebastian Vettel being in 18th place. Going forward, Kevin Magnussen 19th and Nicholas Latifi rounds out the grid in 20th. 2.684 seconds off the pace. We are live tomorrow here on YouTube for all of the running. We'll be back later on tonight, though, for the Friday practice review for all of the action and reaction from today's session. Tomorrow, though, at 10:55, me and Dad, Ian Birch, will be back for the third practice session. You get one off before qualifying at 2 o'clock, on air at 1:55, and the race tomorrow, the race on Sunday, build up for the race preview is at 12, and we are on air at 1:55 or maybe 2:05. I'm not quite sure what time we're on air on Sunday for the race, with lights out at 10:02 UK time. Lot of action, lot of racing resolved here. It's Lance Stroll for Racing Point fastest here on a 1:27.274. Megan, last words from you on this session today. What's been your highlight?
When Vettel came out of the pit lane.
Who do you think is going to be on pole? Because you're not in practice tomorrow. Who's going to take pole?
If the car gets fixed, maybe Albon, because that's only back draw.
What do you think about Mercedes?
I think they did okay, but I think Racing Point did way better.
Agreed. Join us tomorrow. Dad will be in the chair, replacing Megan for FP3 before the Vixen returns for qualifying and the race. Join us tomorrow, though, for all of the action. Thank you very much for watching. For everywhere in the world, stay safe, enjoy Formula One, and it's bye for now.